It was a friend's idea. You know, my friends made me do it. I was drawing a bunch of comics in high school. A bunch of them said, you know, the Gateway has a comics section. You should do that. You should go take your comics there, show them. So I came up here. You know, the same experience that everybody has. You know, you're the nervous first year. You're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? They're not gonna like my stuff. Brought it up here. The opinion editor was in charge of comics back then, so it was David Barry. So brought my comics up to him. He loved them. I did not expect that, but that was kind of my gateway into it. No pun intended. I'm sure everybody's making that joke.
It actually took me 2 years to work up my courage to come up to the office.
I literally had my first attempt at walking into the Gateway office. It was unsuccessful. I just saw, I took the elevator up here and looked around the corner, and there's a bunch of intimidating looking gatewayers standing there, and I bailed down the elevator again.
I used to read the Gateway a lot, and I always read opinion pieces by Connell Pierce, and I just decided that it was something I wanted to do, was to try writing for them. But for some reason, instead of writing opinion, I ended up writing for news.
I was 19 when I was editor-in-chief, so my whole staff was older than me. I mean, at that point, I had 3 years of newspaper experience, but I basically went straight out of high school. And
I felt like I'd finally figured out, beyond academics, what I could do with my life and my career and be really good at it.
Until I came to the Gateway, I was really, didn't really like school that much, and then I came here and you've got this big, like I say, this community, and you're doing something that everybody cares about, and everybody's kind of working towards a common goal, and it's just really cool, I think, to be part of that environment.
It's just the community, right? You know, that's why anytime I would talk to people about the Gateway or, you know, the quote university experience, it was always about the people that you meet and that sense of inclusion. You know, it's the clubhouse, right? It's, you know, in our time it was the leaky death ship, and we were all just this crew of miscreants and misfits. You know, the kids that, you know, were always a little weird, that didn't quite fit in high school, but, you know, we stuck together here, and you know, we made names for ourselves.
You know, the Gateway is really the window on the community, and it's meant to be this objective source of information, and quite often it is. And I think it enriches the campus community, because it also provides a place for debate to take place, or you know, you go down to the main floor sub and see people reading through a Gateway and talking about an article that they've read, and I mean, it's hugely important to the ongoing discussion and the health of the campus.
We were not autonomous when I was in charge of the Gateway, so we had a much different relationship with the Students' Union than the paper does now. That changes everything. I remember going to a budget meeting and pleading for, I can't remember if I was pleading for our budget not to be cut or for our budget to go up, but you know, nobody here has to do that anymore. You've got your own money.
The thing we all heard and knew about Autonomy was, for the longest time, we'd been operated at a sort of arm's length from the Students' Union, but that always put us into conflict when we had to write stories that criticized them or, you know, criticized one of their businesses. And it was really important philosophically and operationally to be a legally separate entity.
I was, at many points, public enemy #1 to the Students' Union and to the university at times. I remember Ms. Samara Sakra giving me a couple of invites to come and hash things out with her after I would write a particularly scathing editorial. But you know, it's always in good fun, and I think that there's something unique about that sense of autonomy, in that it gives gatewayers a badly needed sense of perspective that a lot of groups on campus may not necessarily have.
And I felt like when I came to the Gateway, it was still kind of in the folklore, but it was starting to kind of dissipate a bit, and people didn't realize what a big deal it was that we weren't actually independent before that, right? And so I think it's really good that we're having this event, because I think that current gatewayers need to realize that this is really important, and this is something we take for granted that wasn't always there.
It was so important for us to be able to do our jobs effectively for students, to be autonomous, and to be part of that first autonomous gateway was cool. We had the opportunity to make a lot of mistakes and to do a lot of neat stuff.
I'm so glad that it happens, because I think it would have just been more of the same over and over again for the paper. And I mean, the free press is one of the central values of a democracy, and I think that's the same on campus as it is anywhere else.
it's just going to keep providing that community to people, keep providing like that training to people. We always say we're the unofficial journalism school at the U of A, right? And it's so true though. Like if you want to be a journalist and you don't volunteer for the Gateway on this campus, I don't know what you're thinking, because it's a big mistake.
It was the reason why I did a 7-year BA program, because I was at the Gateway the whole time. And yeah, outside of the Gateway, it was classes. I guess I got to go to those, but otherwise I pretty much lived in the office. Sometimes literally, you know, these couches carry as much of a history as I do.
This is what I always say about the Gateway. It's a safe place to make mistakes. It doesn't feel at the time when things are crashing down and you've made a bad mistake or made the wrong decision. It doesn't feel like it's the safe place, but it is a safe place to make mistakes, because when you get out in the real world, the stakes are higher.
It ruined several relationships. It decimated my liver and internal organs, and it created some amazing friendships and memories that I still have today. And I developed a stress rash under my right arm. And where most people in college gain a tremendous amount of weight, I must have lost like 40 pounds from being so freaked out all the time.
I mean, it completely defined my university career and my post-university path.
The Gateway changed my life, and I will be forever grateful to it for giving me this foundation that let me do what I do now. Plus, the Gateway found me the man that I'm married to and is the father of my 2 children, and that was a great gift as well.
Keep it going, keep having fun, and keep breaking things.
Seriously, have the time of your lives, because you're only here once, and you know, don't let the bastards get you down.
Just try to fuck as many people as possible, with their permission, of course. That's what me and my cohort always did. So.